Good morning and welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your daily shot of sharp business intel, global trends and market movers. It's Friday, June 13th. I'm Nelson John. From missiles over Tehran to markets in meltdown, today's headlines are anything but quiet. Israel strikes Iran. Dalal Street takes a nosedive. And India's steel and space sectors face tests of their own. And 500,000 immigrants in the US? They're being told to leave. This is your essential wrap of the world that's moving fast and shaking markets, borders, and satellite grids. Let's get into it. Tehran woke up to explosions. Early Friday, Israel launched targeted airstrikes on Iran, with the Israeli military claiming hits on nuclear and military sites. Though the exact targets remain unconfirmed, smoke was seen rising from Tehran's western Chitgar neighborhood. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz declared a nationwide emergency and shut schools across the country. This is about protecting our future, he said, without detailing the operation's full scope. The strike follows a major diplomatic flashpoint. The UN's nuclear watchdog censured Iran for the first time in 20 years over its lack of cooperation. Iran hit back by announcing a third uranium enrichment site and upgrades to its centrifuges, raising red flags for Israel, which has long vowed to prevent Tehran from going nuclear. The White House hasn't officially responded, though US officials confirmed no American involvement. Interestingly, as bombs fell in Tehran, President Donald Trump was seen casually greeting lawmakers on the White House lawn, later revealing he had advised Israeli PM Netanyahu to hold off. "I thought we still had room to negotiate," he said. The geopolitical tremors were felt in the markets too. Brent crude surged, signaling fears of a broader conflict in the region. It was a bloodbath on Dalal Street on Thursday. The Sensex nosedived nearly 1,000 points intraday, while the Nifty 50 plunged below the 24,850 mark, dragging investor wealth down by a staggering 6 lakh crore rupees in just one session. The Sensex closed 823 points lower at 81,692, and the Nifty lost 253 points to end at 24,888. Mid-caps and small-caps didn't escape either, dropping over 1.3%. So what triggered this sharp fall? 5 big reasons. 1. Rising geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, especially around Iran, have spooked global investors. 2. The US-China trade deal under Trump seems shaky, with mixed signals and tariff threats causing more confusion than clarity. 3. Global growth fears. The World Bank cuts forecasts, warning that Trump's tariff tantrums could be hurting the global economy. 4. Interest rate uncertainty. Even with cooling US inflation, the Fed is unlikely to cut rates soon, thanks to tariff jitters. And 5. Stretched valuations. Indian equities have been running hot for months, and with no fresh triggers, investors are finally hitting the brakes. As volatility picks up, experts suggest investors buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Just as India's steel sector is recovering from the shock of America's 50% tariffs, comes another jolt, this time from the EU. Brussels has scrapped India's exclusive quota and pushed it into a pooled quota for exporting certain steel products, clubbing it with countries like China and Vietnam. From July 1st, India will now have to compete within a 12,500-ton shared cap for exporting angles, shapes and sections of iron or non-alloy steel to the EU, reports Mint's Dhirendra Kumar. Now, if this quota is exhausted, a steep 25% tariff kicks in, posing a serious risk to Indian exporters. It puts us at risk of losing market share. China alone could consume the entire quota, warned EEPC chairman Pankaj Chadha. What makes this worse? The EU has restored exclusive quotas for others. Ukraine, UK, Turkey and South Korea get priority access. In FY25, India's exports of such steel products stood at $1.83 billion. With India now in the final stretch of FTA talks with the EU, this move is both a hurdle and perhaps leverage. Consultations with the EU are underway until June 19th. The bigger question here is, can India negotiate its way back to a level playing field? India is gearing up to watch the watchers from space. Now, what does this mean? The Defense Ministry is finalizing a 150 crore rupee a year contract for a first-of-its-kind satellite constellation to track satellites that may be spying on India. Think of it as India's orbital surveillance shield built at home by private hands. The ambitious project will be operational by the end of 2026 and is expected to plug a key gap in India's national security architecture. It builds on ISRO's existing Netra program, which tracks space debris, but this new system will go further, flagging hostile satellite activity in real time. At the center of this project is Bangalore-based startup Digantara, already a rising star in the space tech race, reports Ms. Shovik Das. The startup has now landed what could be India's largest private space defense contract yet and may work closely with ISRO from a base in Bangalore. This is a game changer, said Pawan Goenka, chairman of InSpace, India's space promotion body, hinting at a growing government push to support space startups. With India's space sector expanding its global footprint, startups like Digantara and Pixel are already servicing NASA and DARPA. This deal signals a big shift. New space is now national security space. Thousands of immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua and Venezuela are now being told to pack up and leave the US. The Department of Homeland Security has begun issuing termination notices to participants of the Biden-era CHNV Parole program, revoking their legal status and work permits with immediate effect. The move follows a Supreme Court decision last month allowing the rollback of parole protections for nearly 500,000 migrants. DHS officials now say the program lacked proper vetting and undercut American workers. This is a return to common sense policies, said DHS Assistant Secretary Teresa McLaughlin, echoing the Trump administration's America First stance. Launched in 2023, the CHNV program aimed to manage migration more humanely, offering a legal pathway amid humanitarian crisis. But demand far outstripped capacity. 30,000 slots per month, and parolees were quickly absorbed into sectors like construction and healthcare. Advocacy groups are pushing back hard. These people followed every rule, they passed background checks, they were working legally. And now they're being punished for it, said Krish O'Mara of Global Refuge. Industries already struggling to fill in jobs may now face fresh shortages. Meanwhile, legal challenges to the rollback continue in court. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest in business news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great weekend.